Hey, another day, another dollar, another iPad Mini 6 keyboard case. Is it good? Is it bad? Who knows? Welcome back to YouTube. I'm your host, VLD, coming back with another video. And one thing, I just love that cover. It's a Galaxy Tab A 8.0, but they just slap a sticker on it. So that's just a clear indicator of how this keyboard case will present itself for your iPad. It comes in about 4 or 5 different colors. Your standard product information. You'll get about 1 hour charge time for it. You can get about 20 days of actual use and then 30 days of standby time with the case on itself. And this product you can get off Amazon for about $35, and it is the Fendel iPad case for your iPad Mini 6. So I tend to do a lot of these videos for keyboards. It's an unfortunate passion I have for myself. And the back of it, it's rubber, it's rubberized, so it's kind of like a magnet for fingerprints, so that's one kind of trade-off with it. It's just your standard keyboard, generic you get anywhere else. It's kind of mushy, they're small and cramped. And I've done a couple of reviews about this in the past. The back is metallic and magnetic, so it'll stick to everything. You got your on and off button, your connect button, and then your typical keyboard layout. The actual case itself is rubberized with kind of like a hex feel to it, so your iPad just slips right in to it. And then you have the case itself. Underneath you hold the pencil, which, unlike the last one, I'm not a fan of this just because you can't charge it. There's no grip or anything you can put on the top, so how it folds and how it moves, your Apple Pencil will not work with it, and you can't actually charge it either. So if you have a sleeve on your Apple Pencil, it won't work, and you're going to have to take your sleeve off it, and it just won't work at all whatsoever. And even if you have a generic knockoff with it too, that won't work also, so it will only actually fit the normal Pencil 2 versus the off-brand ones for cheaper. And like I said, just because the top won't actually hold or charge it, so if you want to charge it, you gotta take it out of the case. There's really no bumps at all in the case. Unlike my usual carrying case, you have 2 different ways you can adjust the angles for it, but this one, there really isn't one, so you have to kind of just like angle it however you want and kind of hope it actually stays there. But that's a couple things I don't like about this case compared to some of the other ones I reviewed. And then the keyboard itself, you turn it on, you connect, you have your typical power buttons that indicate the different functions of it, and you have your basic function buttons with it also, to different keyboard shortcuts also, and you'll function, and then iOS to pair it to your iOS device. You can multi-switch it between 3 different keyboards or 2, and it's just the experience itself is not super great, and it's kind of poor. You charge it on the side like all the other ones. It charges micro USB, so if you try to do the whole USB-C life, sorry, this one won't stick with you. So your notification lights are, red for charging, blue for power, and your typical stuff. And then with the keyboard case itself, it's magnetic, so it just sticks to the case at any angle. You can pull it down or up, and it's pretty sturdy. It's not going to actually fall off, so the magnets are fairly strong on it. And how you close it is kind of just like that. I will say the case does cover your camera lens, so it will protect that. If you want to get to the power button or the volume button, that's not really going to happen just because the case protrudes out with the keyboard and it's fairly thick. So it's kind of like a thicker taco in my opinion. So it's not slim or petite at all. So it's kind of big and bulky. And which I said earlier in this video, there's no Apple Pencil charging, so if you want to actually use that, that's not really a thing you can actually have in this case itself. So it won't even, the magnets won't actually stick on it whatsoever, even the Apple one or the off-brand one. So like I've reviewed in the past, the keyboard experience is pretty poor. The buttons are small and mushy. So if you were to actually get a keyboard case, well, I would recommend a folding keyboard. So get the iClever BK05, small form factor. It folds, full keyboard size, so it's a good experience. So I recommend that compared to any Chinese off-brand iPad keyboard case whatsoever. just for the actual experience of having a full-size keyboard for about the same price. Granted, you bring your own case with it. It's a little bit more bulkier than just having a standard case like this, but the actual user experience is unbelievably a lot better. It's small and compact. Just get the iClever BK05. I'm a huge fan of it. I believe it's the best mobile keyboard experience ever. Plus the clicking sensation when you fully open it, there's no competition. There's nothing else to it. And which I've also said, you can't actually charge your Apple Pencil with this whatsoever. The experience is fairly poor with the keyboard, so if you want to use the actual Apple Pencil, there's a holder for it, but you can't charge it. So I recommend this to anyone. Just get a regular case for it, and then just get the iClever BK05. It will save your life so much better, and just the experience overall is just top notch in my opinion. So for my travels, I just carry a normal case. They can open up, they can adjust to any couple different angles, and then plus with the iPad keyboard case, you don't actually get raised awake. You can actually charge your Apple Pencil with any case, not with this one, and the actual experience itself isn't that great. So, I mean, it's hard to fix what's broken, so just get a regular case because you can charge your Apple Pencil. It's smaller, it's sleek, and you can get a folding keyboard, and the Apple Pencil won't actually fall off it. But in my opinion, this is by far the perfect mobile experience right here. It's just get a regular case, you can charge your pencil, you can get a full-size keyboard where you can actually do the experience versus the other one. As you can see, they're both side by side. You can charge it via the top, and with the case itself, you can't actually, you have the gap on the bottom, so the pencil will stay there, so it's a little bit more bulkier compared to that, and you actually are given a full-size keyboard. So I don't recommend the Thin-Guild iPad Mini 6 case whatsoever, but I recommend the iClever BK05 to anyone just because the experience is by far the best mobile one. If I'm ever out for work or travel or school or whatever, this is what I take. You can have raised awake, screen on and screen off when you open and close the case. With the iPad one you can't. You get a full-size keyboard, and it's about the same price. You can get the iClever for about $50. The smart case itself is not that great of an experience. I don't recommend it for anyone, just for the simple fact it's not that good. So I'm your host, VLD, signing out. Smash that bell and subscribe.